This month we present our church and village history in the 1890s and 1900s. Odessa was a thriving community in the 1890s and early 1900s. There was a flour mill, sash and blind factory, pail factory, woolen mill, and sawmill, all powered by water from the three dams on Millhaven Creek within the village. In 1890, there was also 2 chair factories, 5 carriage makers, 3 hotels, 5 general stores, 5 blacksmiths, 4 shoemakers, a tinsmith, 3 butchers, a baker, a druggist, a tailor, a barber, and a cheese factory in the village. Parker Timmerman, the inventor of the mailbag, was the postmaster, and his brother Charles was the village telegraph operator. Doctors Mabey and Meacham practiced medicine in the village. The population of Odessa peaked at 900 in 1906, and the Crown Bank of Canada established a branch in Odessa that year. Here's a photo of the Crown Bank on the corner of Main and Factory Street. It was taken about 1908, and you can see the steeple of our church in the background. In 1886, the Salvation Army established a church in Odessa. It was located about a block north of Main Street on the corner of Center and Victoria Streets. The old Roman Catholic Church was located on Main Street, where the Home Hardware store is now. You can just see a bit of our church steeple behind the right corner of the church. In 1898, the new Roman Catholic Church was built on the corner of Center and Main Streets, and the old wooden church was torn down. Roland Peters built a general store on the old church site. It is on the right of this photo and is now the Home Hardware store. Noble Bond's store is on the left of this photo. This is inside Noble Bond's store, 1908. He's on the right with the store apron on. It's now the window showroom across the street from the Home Hardware store. Nathan Snyder and daughters Florence and Annie lived at the corner of Main and Bridge Streets in the brick house on the right. It's the one with the big turret still there. On the left, I'm told, is a gypsy caravan. This is the main street looking east from the Wilton Road, 1910. Florence Snyder was a member of our church and kept a diary from 1899 until her sister Annie died tragically in 1903. During the week, she worked in her father's store on the east side of Bridge Street and also operated the telephone exchange for Odessa from their home. She wrote the following in her diary about a typical Sunday.
1899, February the 5th. Sunday, Annie and I went to quarterly meeting in the forenoon and in the afternoon to Sunday school. After Sunday school, Miss Freeman, Siddy Davy, and I went to the Salvation Army. Annie and I went to Uncle Dennis's after tea. Louis Snyder drove us home. He was visiting there. In the evening, we went to church, and after church to the Army, accompanied by Nellie Davy and Cora Radden.
Meanwhile, back at our church, the trustees were quite busy during this period from 1890 until 1910. The old parsonage at 50 Center Street that we purchased in 1858 was sold to Mary Jane Lee. We retained the back 1/8 of the lot, and it's a good thing because part of our hall is on this land. The brick house at 50 Factory Street was purchased on November 23, 1891 from Byron Derbyshire as our new parsonage. A drive shed was added to the rear of the church to shelter the horses from the rain. It's shown on this part of the fire map of Odessa dated 1904. You can see on the top the old parsonage on Center Street, and behind the church the drive shed, and over on Factory Street the new parsonage. Next month we will present history of our church and village during the next 2 decades, from 1910 until 1930.